One thing all of us musicians have in common, no matter your instrument, no matter if you play as a hobby or professionally, is that we all end up selling gear to buy other gear. And a crucial part of that is eventually you're gonna come to regret selling a certain piece of gear and wish you had it back. This is something I've run into, luckily not very often, but there is one thing I wish I had back. It's a guitar that I sold 8 years ago in order to buy this guitar. This is my number one. This is my Novo Serus J. I bought it in 2017. It took every last dollar, dime, cent I had to my name. I had to sell 2 guitars. I had to max out a credit card, blow out my savings in order to buy this guitar. And this is the best gear purchase I've ever made. This is the Desert Island guitar. This is the one that if the house is on fire and I can grab one, it's this one. But one of the guitars that I sold in order to buy this guitar, I really wish I had back. Not the same make and model, not the same year, the same style, but the actual guitar. It was special. I didn't want to let it go, but I knew in order to make the step up into this dream guitar, I had to let it go. And for years, I have wanted to try and track that guitar down to buy it back. And so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go on Reverb, pull up my original listing from 8 years ago, and try and get in touch with the buyer to see if they still have the guitar, and if not, where it is, so that I can track it down and buy it back. Hey, Rep from the future here. I wanted to break in and quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Reverb.com. I reached out to Reverb with this idea for the video a few months ago because I thought it was a perfect fit. I sold that Les Paul on Reverb all those years ago to buy this guitar, and now that I'm looking to get that Les Paul back, I'm gonna list some gear that I've got laying around the studio to get a little income together to buy that guitar. I have a personal rule that I try and stick to as much as possible, which is that I only sell gear to buy other gear, and whenever possible, I've always tried to make a step up. And that was exactly what happened with the Les Paul. I sold the Les Paul and a few other guitars and some pedals on Reverb to step up into this guitar. If you check out the link in the description box down below, you can find my Reverb landing page, which has some of my favorite pieces of gear that I've bought and sold over the years on Reverb, as well as things that I think are really great finds, things that sort of fly under the radar. And yeah, I wanted to thank Reverb for sponsoring today's video and helping me track down my long lost Les Paul. So with all that out of the way, let's learn about this guitar that I sold. So this is the guitar, 2001 Gibson Les Paul Custom. The story on this guitar is in 2015 for my birthday, my mom and dad bought me this guitar. They are big estate sale people. There was an estate sale happening. A gentleman had passed away, and he apparently was just like an avid collector of stuff. He had like just all kinds of random things. And one of the things he had was this Les Paul. Apparently he wasn't a guitar player at all, had no interest in learning how to play guitar. He just bought this because he liked the way that it looked, and it literally sat on a stand in his basement from 2001 until 2015. And my dad got there early and apparently got an absolute screaming deal on this guitar. I don't know how much they paid for it, but apparently they did pretty good. Now, I did make some changes to it. You can see the pickups here. This guitar originally had the 490 and the 498T pickups, which I think are the worst sounding humbuckers possibly ever made. And so as soon as I had some extra cash left over from gigs and teaching, I bought a set of Porter Anthem PAFs to put in it. And that's what I sold the guitar with. So this listing has the PAFs, the Porters, and you see I took pictures of the original Gibson pickups. Look at this. This is pro level reverb right here. Apparently I even made a video that, oh yeah, look at this. This is one of my first YouTube videos, or attempt at a YouTube video, way back in 2017, I think. Guitar, which is make it sound like a late 50s Les Paul. So today I'm going to take you through some playing examples, some clean, some dirty stuff on all 3 pickups, so you can kind of get an idea, hopefully, of what these sound like. I love that you can't even tell what color the guitar is here. Sir Duke, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. It sounds like what I remember it as. Wow. Now, I do have a few videos, early YouTube videos of me playing this guitar, January of 2017. I started just bringing my cell phone, shooting with my iPhone on these tours, on these runs. So this is a show, this is the band that I was in, the Muddy Magnolias, based out of Nashville. And this, I believe, is a festival in Mexico that we played. It was like a Zach Brown band festival. I remember we played right before Maren Morris at this show. Here's a sound check.
Going for you anymore?
I think I need more.
Yeah, there it is. This was one of my main touring guitars for the years that I had it. About those 3 years I had it. I loved playing with that band. All those guys, Ian, Ross, Calvin, unbelievable players. What am I playing there? Oh, my PRS. It's weird to hear this stuff after so long. Right after this, we, like literally 2 weeks after this, we went on the Joe Bonamassa, like the Keeping the Blues Alive at Sea cruise. And this would have been February of 2017. I think that's the last time I played this guitar, because this was February 2017. And I remember I came home from this run of shows, which is about 2 weeks. And I think I might have already listed the guitar on Reverb before I went on this cruise, which is a bold move looking back on it. And I know that I bought the Novo in March of 2017, right before South by Southwest, because the first day, like I bought the guitar, I brought it home, and the next day I drove to Nashville to go into rehearsals, and we left from Nashville to drive to Austin for South by Southwest.
Lately I ain't feeling like myself.
This would have been the last gig that I played that Les Paul after literally this show, because I remember this particular show was the last show we played on the cruise. I think about 3 or 4 shows. This was the last one. So it would have gone in its case. We would have flown home, and it would have stayed in its case until I sold it, which would have been, I don't know, maybe a week after that, something like that. So this is literally like, it's actually kind of crazy to see this. This is the last time I played this guitar before it went to Kentucky. So yeah, I really want to get this guitar back. What did I put down for this listing? 2001 Les Paul Custom. I've had the guitar for about 3 years. I'm the second owner. It's a great player, feels and sounds just like a Les Paul should. It's in great shape, especially for its age, which it's not that old at the time I sold it. Just minor signs of normal playing wear, slight worming on the back, no neck break, free of any substantial scratches or blemishes. It's currently loaded with a set of Porter Anthem PAFs, but will ship with stock pickups. If you'd like the guitar with the PAFs, we can work out a deal. The guitar comes with the original case, which is very clean. The case was never gigged or even taken out of the house. The guitar and case have lived in a smoke-free environment its entire life and was regularly maintained by my luthier here in Atlanta. No trades, please. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty solid listing, you know, as Reverb listings go. But there's one crucial piece of information here, and I'm glad that I did this back when I listed it, and that is I took a picture of the serial number. This is the only picture of the serial number that I have. It's a little hard to read. Like, what is that? 028. This middle numbers is at 1370. It's a little hard to read. Also, check the G string tuner. That's a early 2000s Henry J era Gibson quality control for you. So I'm going to message the buyer and I'm going to see if we can track this guitar down. Truth be told, as you can see here, I have reached out to the buyer a few times over the years, 2019, 2023, and they've never gotten back to me. And that may mean that they've just never logged into Reverb again. It may mean they've have no interest in selling the guitar back, or they've just never checked their messages. I don't know. I don't know really what else to do. Other than this, I know where the guitar went. It went to Kentucky. If you see a red Les Paul Custom for sale, or you know of a red Les Paul Custom, a 2001 in Kentucky, I might need you to reach out to me. So let's write this message. Okay, so, hey, Rhett here. I know I've reached out a few times in the past about the Les Paul Custom I sold you back in 2017, and I wanted to try one more time to get in touch with you to see if I could buy that guitar back. I feel like I need to add something sort of sentimental. I sold at the time to buy what is now my favorite guitar that I couldn't quite afford, but since selling it, I've wanted to get it back. Thanks, Rhett. Okay, well, here's hoping. Okay, I just got a message on Reverb. We're in LA for the NAMM show this week. There's the beautiful 101 freeway down there. The buyer messaged me back. I was literally about to wrap this video up and just call it quits on this whole project because I waited 3.5 weeks, and literally I get this message. Dear Rhett, sorry I've not responded. I thought this message was an ad from Reverb, so I skipped over it. It's been my policy not to sell my guitars. But the Gibson was yours to start with, and I know about favorite ones. I have a 1934 Martin that was my father's, and a 1962 D28 I wouldn't part with. In fact, the 1934 is going in the coffin with me, and screw the rest of the world. I've not changed out those pickups, so those and the standard pickups will be returned to you. Make me an offer I can't refuse, so I won't need to contact the Godfather to broker the deal. Okay. So I guess I gotta make him an offer.